The first time I heard a student call a professor by her first name, I think I had a mini heart attack in my seat just thinking about how the professor was going to react to the student's slip-up. It was the first week of classes at the University of Wollongong in Wollongong, Australia. I thought to myself, wow, talk about bad first impressions. But relative to my emotional expectations of what was going to happen next, I was slightly underwhelmed. In fact, nothing happened at all. Not even the low, rolling sounds of anxious giggles from the class. The second time it happened, I turned to Rowan, a recently made Australian friend, and asked if they call all of their professors by their first names. His response was, "It's called a lecturer, not a professor. And yes, we call them by their first names. What else would we call them?" "That's so weird!" I exclaimed in what was probably a bit of an overreactive tone of voice. Rowan gave me a sort of slanted look as if slightly taken aback. "Why is that weird? Just because you aren't used to it?" This was really the first time in Australia that I stepped back and thought about what the word different really meant. And I came to the conclusion that different isn't weird. Different is just different. I think what made this so strange was that until that point, Australian culture did seem to be extremely similar to American culture. Other than my accent, I hadn't ever felt different from any given person walking down the street. But this was a clear, tangible difference that made me realize how many things I do each and every day that are thoughtless and automatic, but are never questioned because that's just all that I know. It's because of this tiny yet eye-opening experience that I went from frustratingly questioning why things were different to curiously wondering how things were different. Going abroad to Australia, most Americans probably don't expect to be pulled too far outside of their English-speaking, westernized boxes. And it's true that had I not taken the initiative to step back and really observe and understand the culture of my host country, I wouldn't have gone outside my box either. But I didn't choose to go to Australia so that I could stay inside my comfort zone. I wanted to truly experience everything that the country had to offer me, and the only way to do that was to open myself up and allow myself to absorb everything that was going on around me. A mind and body that are constantly curious, observant, and accepting are what keep us mentally alive and thriving. They are what allow us to see the beauty that the world has to offer if we're willing to let go of the judgment, habit, comfort, and complacency that restrict us starting from the exact moment that we stop exploring.